viewers and listeners, it is always a pleasure talking to you. I'm hoping that you have enjoyed the posts that we have done before, but even more, there is something interesting for you at hand. I'm Dr. Duncan Elliot Tembo, and I'll be talking to you on a subject that is titled, It Doesn't Matter Where You Start From. You see, as I discuss this topic, I am hoping that, I can speak to that somebody who feel like, look, I think I missed the opportunity. I'm starting at the very bottom. And I think I would want to just use myself as an example, to explain the fact that it is possible. You see, you have to be that person who refuses mediocrity. You have to be that person, who tell yourself that average is not your space. You have to be that person, who says that no matter how the situation looks like, I am going to break through. I would want to, just start off by telling you about my experience, in relation to my academic life. You see, when I finished grade 12, I passed well. I was taking, pure sciences, and I still remember the codes. So my physics 50-54, my pure chemistry 50-70, my pure biology 50-90. But I also took principles of accounts. And I passed with distinctions. Actually, in principles of accounts for about 2 to 3 years or so, no one had gotten a distinction one. So I was excited to, just break that record for that 2 years. But I think that combination of subjects affected me because, you see, I now felt like, look, I need to be an accountant. But I also felt like, look, I have to be a scientist. And I wanted to go with, all my sciences. I needed my physics, I needed my chemistry, I needed my biology as well. I found myself, in the School of Sciences. I was accepted at the University of Zambia. Unfortunately, I didn't get bursary, and it was a bit difficult to go there. Fortunately, I got a place at Evelyn Horn College to go and study science lab in the School of, academics and applied sciences. I found it very exciting because, you see, it offered me an opportunity to continue with my sciences. So in that course, all we were doing was chemistry theory and practical, biology theory and practical, physics theory and practical, and mathematics. And I said to myself, wow, this is what I was looking for. But at that time, there was only advanced certificate in Zambia. There was actually no diploma. And anyone who wanted to do a diploma had to go to UK to go and do advanced diploma. And the advanced certificate was taking 2 years 8 months plus 4 months attachment. That's when you finish the course. I did that course, got my advanced certificate that I was so proud of, and I was the best student in my program. So I had an opportunity to be offered the job from school. And immediately I started working, they introduced a direct diploma. Unfortunately, they had not figured out how people who did 3 years would come back and, just join that course. And they were writing, the exams at the end of the year. So I requested the school if I could, go back and sit for the exams, to finish that diploma. I think initially they were a bit skeptical, looking at the bulkiness of, the program. But yeah, they allowed me. So I went back, sat for the exams, and I passed. And I did very well. So by then I was working, And after getting the diploma, you see, I'd always dreamed of going to the School of Medicine. So after finishing that stage, I felt, well, I think this is an opportunity for me to go and study medicine. I applied at the University of Zambia, and I was accepted in the School of Medicine to go and take up medical science for 5 years. But by then I was working, And when I told my employers that I needed to go and continue with school, obviously the question was, so what are you going to study? Which school are you going into? And I think the expectation was, I'm going in the School of Business, I'm going to study this. But immediately I mentioned School of Medicine, they could not immediately see the relationship, that course and what I was doing. And they advised me that if I needed to take up that course, I should consider resigning. But you see, I depended on that salary, and to think about resigning, going to do that program, obviously it was going to be, very complicated. So I discussed with them. So when I was employed, I was the quality specialist in the lab. So I was taking care of, the quality of products that that company was producing. And, this is a company that was operating 24 hours with a 3-shift cycle. So the morning shift was running from 6 to 14, the afternoon shift from 14 to 22, and the night shift from 22 to 06. So I requested with them if it was okay that probably they could, just drop me down to a technician, and then I work in shifts to be able to go to school. Reluctantly, they accepted, and then somebody else took up my role and my salary, and I negotiated with the colleagues so that I work just night shift, that is from 2022 to 06, so that in the morning from 8 to 17 I could be at school. Yeah, when people heard about that, everybody told me, you must be joking. But I was very confident in myself, and even more, I believed in God. And I told myself, say, look, with God on my side, I will certainly make it. So I went to the School of Medicine, and every morning, when I knock off from work at about 6, I could quickly bath from there, get to school. By 8 hours, I would be there. I would stay in school from 8 up to about 17. When we knock off at 17, I would sit there, do my assignments, probably up to 19. Then go back home, sleep for about 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, somewhere there. Then I would get going. It wasn't easy, but you see, with God on my side, I kept on moving from one year to another. If there is anyone who was very well positioned not to go far, I think it's me. But you see, God was with me. I moved from, 1 year to another, until finally, after 5 years, I finished my program. We started, I think we should have been 45, 50, somewhere there, and we graduated 40 of us. 10 had remained behind, and I was among the people who graduated. I think up to now I still stand confidently that, look, if God is on your side, it doesn't matter how things look like. After that, I went on to do my first master's. I took up a master's in, safety, health, and environment with Greenwich University. And it was very interesting. I finished that program, and I decided, let me try the business world as well. So I also took up an MBA with a major in strategic management. And after that, I took up a PhD in sustainable management. Now, this journey took me 20 years. Obviously, there are also other courses in between, because you see, I continued working. I was, even before I finished my first degree, I think I was promoted again. I became occupational health and safety and environmental controller. I became site services manager, a risk manager, and eventually specialist for safety. But you see, when you look at this journey, from the time that I started my certificate and the time that I completed my PhD, it was 20 years. And all this happened in 20 years. And it's against this background that I come to speak to that somebody who feels that, look, they don't have time. Or that somebody who feels that, look, I didn't have an opportunity because I started very low, and any other reason, that you might have, to feel that, look, you're disadvantaged. I think I had every reason to feel that way. I had every reason to feel that way. But you see, I told myself that my circumstances will not define me. And I told myself that, look, average is not my space. I told myself that I have everything that it takes to make it, and to make it big. And that's what I stood for. And yeah, so I want to speak to that somebody who, feel that they are not standing well today. I'm very passionate about time management. If there's anything, that I critically focused on, I think it's how I manage my time. And I've always argued that, look, we all have 24 hours. We all have 24 hours. And it's entirely up to you how you use it. And the question is, how do you spend your time? How are you using your time? Are you using your time in a way, that it pushes you to realizing your goals? Are you using your time in a way that you are living in line with your purpose? I've always argued that, you see, if you sleep, let's say from 20 hours, okay, up to about 04, okay, or let's say you sleep from 22 up to 06, okay, that is about 8 hours. By the time that you will be 60 years sleeping at that rate, because 8 hours is 1/3 of the day. By the time that you be 60, 1/3 of 60 is 20. So you'd have slept 20 years. But away from sleeping, the question is, how do you spend the other time? How much time do you spend on phone? How much time do you spend in the bathroom? How much time do you spend chatting? And a lot of other things. If you took that into consideration, you will notice that probably a larger portion of time that we could have used productively is used in a way that does not help us become better. And this is what I want to speak to you about. Time is a very important resource. Unfortunately, when this time is gone, it's gone. Okay? The time that you had yesterday is gone. So really, it's to take advantage of every minute that you have, to live according to the purpose, And I think for me, that's what my focus was, to be my best. And I continue to argue that, look, it doesn't matter where you start from. You can start from anywhere. And for as long as you remain committed, to your purpose, to what you're wanting to become, making the best of every moment that you have. There is nothing that will really stop you. Even what you thought that they were, serious limitations, you'll find that, a way will begin to show. Doors will begin to open, and before you realize it, you will not be able to explain, the uncommon favor that you've, that has been bestowed upon you. I think that has been my experience, and I talk about this, very passionately, because I feel that, every person has got what it takes, to be successful, to rise to greater heights. And yeah, I encourage you to critically think about this. If you are that someone who feel that you didn't start well, and you have talked yourself out, of climbing that ladder and being your best, you can do it. Thank you for listening.